This call is now being recorded.
Okay, all right, now, so I finally figured out how to record the calls. I'm calling, this ain't my actual number, this is like Google Voice. So I'm recording, how I got this set up is I'm gonna record the call, and then I'm gonna put the podcast out tomorrow, you know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna edit it up real quick, you know, good, so we don't out there looking like some, you know, a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. How I sound?
I feel you, bro. Cause you know, like I saw the motherfucking the Texas number popped up, and I was like, I don't even know nobody from Texas. I thought you from Carolina.
Nah. I'm from Texas. Like I still have a Cali number. Like my Cali number is still the same.
Oh shit. Okay.
Like yeah, so my number's still the same. It's just like, you know, I haven't changed it yet because like I kind of like having a different number because like when people call me, they just know what my number is gonna be different.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah. But no, I'm from Texas though. I've been back in Texas for a little bit. I love it, man. Well, I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Okay. Hey, man, I ain't even mad at you, man. As long as you somewhere where you happy though, bro.
Hey, I'm happy. You know, it's crazy. I'm happy. Like I think I'm but I've always found a way to make myself happy though. Even when I was in any other place, I could find myself making happy. But like now, like being here, and I'm pretty happy though.
Hey man, trust me, I hear you on that shit. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get the hell out of Cali now, man. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody always say, you know, San Diego, the weather out here is so nice. Why wouldn't you go outside and But I'm like, honestly, bro, like it's not for me out here, man. Like, yes, the environment is nice, but like just kind of feeling this how San Diego just flow in general, bro. It's just not for me, man. I honestly don't like it out here.
I think the only reason why it made San Diego so fun for me when I was there was because I was out there on the ship and I was with my friends. So everybody, I was like out there, but I can only, it's not like how when you lived in Japan, if all your friends left, you still got Japan. So you're not going to be like stuck. When all your friends leave in San Diego, you just got San Diego.
Nah, that's a whole fact, bro. I promise you that one.
You think so?
Like, hell yeah, because you know, even living in Japan, I remember, as a matter of fact, this actually happened here right before the COVID and everything started. I was literally just saying to my homeboys, because he's from Brooklyn, and I was literally saying to him, I'm like, bro, like, I remember when I was in Japan, I didn't have to look for something to do on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, the better question was, it's like, yo, what the fuck? There's so much to do tonight. Which one am I going to pick to go to?
That's like the best part about it, though.
Exactly. But out here in San Diego, it's like, yo, Friday nights are past, Saturday nights are past. It'd be like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm just sitting in the house like, yeah, ain't nothing going on tonight.
Nah, and that's a big deal because like fucking when I was in Japan, like at one point in time I used to go out all the time and shit like that. But like I started hanging out with a different crowd where they actually started like their main goal was to explore and go see like something new in Japan. So like it would be like moments where we'll go out and come back like real like at like 3 or 4, get some sleep and be out at like fucking 6 and just go into a different spot in Japan. And like that's just I didn't have that goddamn luxury when I was in San Diego. When I came back to America, I started realizing like like it's not the same. I was blessed to like, you know, be in Japan. Like I was blessed because like motherfuckers tell me this shit now. They act like they always talk about. I personally, it's hard for me. I'll be like, yo, I fuck with Japan too much for me not to be like, I love Japan. Because like, you know, it's crazy if you see everybody talk about Japan. Motherfuckers that I knew they talk about, they hated that shit, love that shit now. They miss it. Everybody misses Japan.
Man. For real. You know, I always say too, man, it was a culture shock coming back to the States, man. It was. Because, you know, just the people, the vibe, like, and I don't care what you into. You could be into everything from hiking and country music and just going to a bar and, you know, fucking drinking a whole pint of beer to, man, if you want to go explore traditional Japanese style, I mean, bro, you know me, man. I'm from the Caribbean. Like, I even found, you know, reggae music and dancehall out there. Like,
there was a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, bro. There's everything to do out there. That's what I always say even right now, man. If you can tell me I can go back to Japan tomorrow, bro, I'm dropping everything right now. and I'm hopping my ass on the first thing smoking back in Japan, dog.
You know what's crazy about that is like, man, if I did want to do comedy so bad, I would have went back to Japan.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, if I didn't want to make it in as a comedian in America so bad, I would have went back to Japan. No, and that's great, like, for real.
No, I hear you on that one. And, honestly, man, that's one of my things right now that I'm trying to do too. Is me leaving San Diego and I'm heading actually over to Mayport, Florida. I of course, like, I selected orders or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, the older I'm getting right now, I'm like, you know what? Yes, I can go back to Japan. I have a great time out there. I can party it up, do my thing. The women out there, just the vibe out there. And it's like, truth be told, you don't even really need to roll with your homeboys. Like, you can go out by yourself and still have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, honestly,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm turning 30 this coming December. And at the point now, I'm like, where it's time for me to kind of like, at least settle down, buy a house.
You getting them feelings. I'm getting them feelings now, and I'm 26. I'm 26 and I'm getting them feelings. Yeah, like I'm looking at this shit like, hold up, come on, I'm 26, and like I'm just watching shit happen. Like when I started, like here's the thing, when I got out, right, and then like I had when I got out, I went to Texas. I had all these plans. Like I had a plan that I was gonna go move to New York. I was gonna like move to New York immediately because I said, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking make it out in New York right when I go to New York. But to be honest, when I got home, like I had dealt with a lot of like right when I got home, immediately I had told myself, I said, wow, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a little break because, being in the military, that shit can drain out your body to a certain extent. And if you don't take that little break, you may lose your fucking mind. If you keep running 100%, you gonna crash eventually. Cause I remember when it was one of the motherfuckers, he said, look, he had told me about these, he said, okay, watch him. Because he's going real hard right now. He's going to crash eventually. It's going to be bad when he crashes. And he ended up crashing. And I'm like, okay. But I got out right before I could crash. So I got out right before I could crash. So my crash was just me getting out. And then I got out and I waited a year to actually start back comedy. I waited a year to actually start comedy. So so I really was trying to get like reacclimated back to like fucking society, being a human being. Like honestly, I was still shaving every day. Like I was still shaving, keeping my hair cut a certain way. I was real, man, I don't know what it was, cause like I got so used to seeing me like shaved up, not like looking, I forgot how I looked, when I was a civilian, honestly. Like I was so used to looking at myself shaved up, and now I got me a little beard and my hair is getting longer. So it's like I was still getting adjusted to being, a civilian again. It sounded like I was in jail, but I'm not. But it was like I was just trained into that mindset, where I had to make sure I keep my shit on point so nobody could say shit to me. So
I feel you, bro.
So when I got out and I finally did stand up, and like that was a big deal for me because like when I was doing stand up when I was in San Diego. Every time I went up, nigga, it was bad. Every time I went up, it was bad. And I was like, and that fucked me up too. Because, you think these things, like, you go like, yo, I can make it. I'm funny. I'm that. I'm this and that. And then you go up there and you find out you're not, you're not that. I know you think you're that, but you're not. So that fucked me up for a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. That fucked me up. Because like, I already made the decision I was getting out. I had no back turn on it. I was getting out. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to get out. I'm not playing. No matter what, I'm going to get out. And so I was already like halfway there, but I was still scared of like fucking failing. I was so scared of failing. And that's what it took. And that also came to the point of me waiting a year to start back up with comedy again. So my birthday came and I said, you know what? Hey, you're going to stop being a bitch. And I went up there and I didn't have nothing, cause like, it's crazy. This is my excuse to my family, right? Cause they kept asking like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Comedy? I'm like, yeah. I'm just writing. I'm making sure I get everything right out. I ain't write shit. I ain't do shit. I was just sitting on my ass watching life pass by. And like, so it was my birthday and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I drug myself to the fucking improv and I said, oh, I got to write something. I got to do a joke. And then I wrote I just wrote something real quick, like it was just on top. I wrote it within like 10 minutes, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go up there and I'm just do it, right? And since I've been out, I'm not drinking like that, so I'm pretty sober and shit. So, and I had like fucking, and an improv, it's like a 2-hour thing, and I had to wait like an hour while I'm watching all these motherfuckers go up, and then I started seeing something. I started seeing they just working out their shit just like me. So hey, if you bomb, this ain't gonna be the first time you bomb. You bombed before. Yeah. This time, let's see. You know, now this is gonna be the test for you. Either you're gonna do this shit again, or you're not gonna do this shit at all. Yeah. And so I went up there, and I ain't gonna lie, I promise you, I killed. And I don't have any proof, but I killed. Yeah. Like I really did well, and I did well. I did so well that when I was leaving, I was like fucking, I think what my first joke was, because I had on, for some reason, like it was a little cold on my birthday, and I had this, I had bought this sweater in Japan, and I called it the Bill Cosby sweater. So, so I was wearing that sweater, and I go, hey, how y'all guys like my sweater? And they was like, oh yeah, it's good. And so, free my nigga Bill Cosby, and then that was, and like when I said that, it kind of like, all right, now I can do this, because they was like, oh, what the free Bill Cosby. But you had black people in the back go, yeah, free Bill Cosby. And I was like, okay. and I was able to, you know, kill it. And then I got off the stage, and they was like, the host was like, wow, great job. And then I was able to like link up with somebody who said, oh, you don't know all the mics out here? He sent me a link to all the mics, to get the mics and shit like that out here. And then that was it. And I may have killed my first time. I'm gonna say this is my first official time, because I was doing it, but it wasn't a full-time commitment, because I was still committed to the military. Mm-hmm. But this is my first official time I killed, but my next 10 times I bombed.
Oh, damn. But man, that should build up your confidence, brother. It definitely build up your confidence.
It did.
If you don't mind too, bro, actually, get me your podcast and everything, man. I know, your name of your podcast was Until I'm Famous. So if you don't mind, can I ask you a couple questions, just kind of pick your brain, because bro, it's been a while since you caught up.
By all means, man, do it, man.
I mean, of course, bro, we gotta kind of throw it back to even how we met. So I mean, for everybody listening out there in the podcast, my name is Chris. Me and my boy Zane over here, bro, we met way back in Japan, like what, 2012,
2012, 2013.
Yeah, right about there, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, you Fuller, like all you do down, y'all were kind of like my little brothers, man. Yeah. Y'all was like my little brothers back.
Y'all know y'all from.
I was like, yo, motherfucking Marshall, I love that dude the best, man.
Yeah, Marsh forced his way into my friendship. I didn't want to be friends. I'll be honest with you. It sounds fucked up. I didn't want to be friends with Marsh. But he forced his way into my life, and I can't help it. I respect it, though. He forced his way into my life, because I did not want this nigga to be friends. And he's like, come on, man, Marsh cool dude. And then after I just got to know Marsh, you don't find nobody like Marsh. Marsh has made me belly laugh a good 8 times. Some shit like that.
No, I'm telling you. But the thing about it is, though, Marsh is so stupid that, like, and I mean it in the most, like, loving way possible. Marsh is so dumb, you can't help but love him, yo.
You can.
But he doesn't realize what he's doing is absolutely retarded. Like, bro, prime example. Last time I saw Marsh, I want to say it was probably December of Christmas time, actually. Maybe like 2017, 2018. We flew him out here to San Diego, right?
Yeah.
So at the time I was dating my ex. So we had all through this little, like, Christmas thing at my crib and everything like that, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody over the crib, we playing cards, playing, what's the bullshit, Death to Humanity or motherfucking...
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity, there you go. I don't know where the fuck I got Death to Humanity from, but either way, bro. So, this nigga Marsh, man, I don't know how the subject got on paying for pussy. I honestly don't know how we got there.
Okay.
So, bro, mind you, set the scene. I invited my boys over. It's Marcus, it's Marsh, I think like maybe 2 other of my homeboys. My ex at the time brought through all her homegirls. So the house is majority women in there. This Marsh gonna turn to me. I'm talking about, I'm sitting next to my girlfriend at the time. He's gonna be like, yo, where? Hey, bro, yo, we was in Japan, bro. You ain't never paid for pussy? Bro, yo, you paid for pussy? Yo, dog, you gonna lie? You paid for pussy?
Yo, that's my business, nigga. Get the fuck.
What killed me, though? What killed me, my nigga? My girl is sitting right next to me. I'm like, bro.
Well, the worst part about it, you gotta immediately go to defending. Now, what are you talking about? Like, why would you? You can't be ready. You gotta. Hold on. What are you talking about here?
Bro, out of every subject you could have brought up in front of my girl, that's what you decided to bring. But that's
shout out to Mars, man. You know what's crazy? I remember one time Mars came out there. It was me, Trey, Fuller. Me, Fuller, and Mars, right? And Mars had a rental car. Fuller knows what the fuck I'm talking about when I bring this up. Motherfucker, you can tell, like, you know, when you come back from Japan, you ain't been driving in years, right? But when we got our license, like, we still can do it, right? So Marsh was like sitting there fucking just, I don't know if he wasn't looking at his fucking, his blind side or anything like that, but that nigga was just going. And he just hear cars talking in the background, right? And then so he's looking at Fuller, I'm in the back. I'm playing Kevin Gates. I'm in the back and Fuller was in the passenger side. And like, so he looks at Fuller, yo, Fuller, can you check to see if I'm good? He said, Fuller goes, that's your job. Like, you're supposed to be checking to see if you're good. Why am I checking?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo.
But I'm like, I said, you know what? I was checking Marsh. Just go. Just go. If we die, we die.
Only Marsh, yo, bro, only Marsh, man. That nigga's something else, for real.
Man,
you can't help but love him though, man.
You can't help but love him because, like, this motherfucker used to have me die. Oh, man, it was just one motherfucker, right? He hated this motherfucker. And he know what I'm talking about. He hated this motherfucker. I still remember this shit. He hated this motherfucker. And this motherfucker was talking about, man, my back is starting to hurt, man. I'm starting to get back. My shit's starting to hurt. I don't know what it is. What he said? He asked me, what do you think it is? So he asked me, but Mark comes in and says, I think it's early signs of cirrhosis. That motherfucker, yeah, like he fucking like goes, you're dying. And he had to fucking, he was thrown off by it because he was thrown off by it because everybody was laughing. Whenever March makes everybody laugh, motherfuckers who's getting laughed at get salty like, yo, what are you talking about? You're March, like, and they just started just going in on March, but March. I'm never gonna get to argument with Mark because Mark he'll cut you up if you have to. It's so funny.
Yeah. Trust me, I know. I've seen Mars do it before. Trust me, I know.
He'll cut you up and he quick, and he would never expect us like, hey, just relax, because he'll cut you. Mark should cut you up, man. Oh my God.
But you know what though? That's like when you was back in school and everybody throwing jokes and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And then the motherfucker, the slow down syndrome motherfucker is the one start laughing at you and start throwing jokes at your ass.
Yeah.
It's just not supposed to happen, but.
Nah, it's not, but I be saying that shit.
Salute to Marsh though, man. For real.
Salute, great man. I love that man. I every now and then I hit him up. Like, well, I post a photo, something like that. And he'll always send me a photo. Just always send me a message. You know you're still ugly, right? And I just accept it. I just accept it. I might be a little ugly. It is what it is.
That nigga Mars, man. Can't wait to see him again, bro. So, yo, bro, actually, I'm kind of curious, bro. I remember we were talking, bro. I remember, like, even right before you got out, you were saying that you wanted to, get out the Navy. I remember you was been saying that one. I remember that one for the longest time.
Man.
What made you want to like really make that decision to, actually get out and pursue comedy and everything? Like, like what really like kind of solidified it for you? Like, this is your calling, it's what you want to do.
Because, I don't want to sound like that guy, but when I was in the military, man, I wasn't broke. I had everything I wanted. Man, I had everything I wanted. Like, I would never ever think that I could just live out, and do what I was doing. Travel everywhere, handle my business. I was living good. I was doing all this shit, but deep down inside, I still wanted to do comedy, right? And I was always content, but I never was happy. Always content, never was happy. Mm-hmm. And like, when I was younger, I always said I wanted to do comedy, right? But like, my mom had told me some shit that kind of fucked me up a little bit. My mom had said, first off, you're like, you're not even gonna do anything. You're like, she just said some shit that was like, you know, if you really want to be a comedian that bad, you know, why aren't you doing nothing right now? And like, and I say, and I was, you know, young, so I go, yeah, you're right. So instead of me not doing comedy, I probably would have went to college, but fucking somebody taught me to go into the military and shit like that. But like deep down inside, I had that hunger of like, I wanted to do, you know, fucking comedy. So it took me a while because I ain't gonna lie, life was good, but like I still wanted to do comedy. Like, so I actually really had to sit down and like have a conversation with myself. Like, am I really gonna be willing to put it all on myself? You know, cause that's a scary thing, just to like jump. Like, it was like Steve Harvey, shit. When Steve Harvey says, don't ever be afraid to jump. You know, you may scrape your back up on some rocks, but when you get to the bottom, yeah, you good, you made it. So I said, you know what? Why not jump? As much time as I put in the military, and as much like late hours, time I put in the work, and I was good at my job, and I did everything right, and it wasn't a problem because of that. But I said, I'm putting as much time as I am in for the military, why not put that into myself? And I said, like, imagine me putting late hours into my comedy, right? Imagine me up on stage for hours, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how much that make people progress. It's something I want to do. Why not do it?
Exactly.
And then I made the decision to get out. And I ain't gonna lie, when I made the decision to get out, you know how many motherfuckers talk to me about staying in? Like, I had motherfuckers talk to me consistent. The captain of my ship came and sat down in combat with me while I'm sitting there on watch. He just came and sat down and had a conversation. He didn't say shit to nobody, just came and sat down next to me and had a full conversation with me about, are you sure this is what you want to do? I'm like, yeah. He goes, but you know, I had to play face and act like, oh yeah, I got plans. You know, I got plans. But I'm being honest with you, big dog. My only plan now is comedy. I do everything else, but my only plan now is comedy. Anything I'm doing right now is just to set me up for comedy. I swear. And like, I noticed that now, like me doing comedy, I've never been my mental space right now was like so fucking, I just want to get better, you know? And it was at a point when I was when I started really starting to figure out the art of comedy, like I would never think I would be, cause like so far, like my first couple of months in this shit, I was just like, I was there, but I wasn't there. I feel like I felt robotic up there, and I hated the shit I was doing, like the material that I was doing, because I was, you know, I guess I heard some advice, right, where it says you do the same 5 minutes so you can get really good at it, so you can figure out what the people are really laughing at. And like I was doing the same 5 minutes for like months, and that shit was killing me. Like I hated that shit because people really started thinking that I'm a bitch or some shit, because like I kept doing this shit. I mean, a lot, it worked. I used to get laughs, but like I just didn't like it that much, right? But then it was like one day I had went up and I didn't have shit to talk about, and I did not want to do that goddamn same old 5 minutes. And I went off the top of my head. And then when I went off the top of my head, it was like bang, bang, bang. I started realizing everything. I started becoming more present on stage. I started seeing motherfuckers like face. If I say something, I started seeing motherfuckers' faces cringe. And I really started to figure out the art of it. And you know, when COVID came, it kind of like closed everything down. But I really, when I started doing comedy now, it's something that I'm glad I did. I'm glad I made the decision to do, because I feel so much better. I feel like I love this, and I just want to make it at this. I'm writing, you know, and I try to, I don't want to be one dimensional. So like I got so many plans, right? I'm writing a script, right? I got so many plans that I want to do with this shit. Like it's not like it's just gonna be stand up, but that's gonna be my main goal, is stand up though.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, bro. And you know, man, you actually brought up the best quote that you said earlier from Steve Harvey. Because actually, I do follow Steve Harvey, man. He's actually definitely one of my favorite people to actually listen to, as far as like, you know, advice. And actually, I have to say probably my first like favorite above everybody journalist is Charlamagne the God. Like,
Charlamagne the God is great.
Yeah, man, he be dropping some gems though. But like, bro, even when you just said a minute ago that sometimes you have to take that jump and scrape your back here and there. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that, like, when you go through them hard times when you might go up on stage and completely bomb, you're like, well, shit. Am I that whack? Or, you know what I'm saying? It's those times that when you actually, and I believe in speaking things to existence, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When you make it as a big comedian and get exactly where you gotta go, you gonna look back at them times and be like, yo, I remember when I had to grind and pick myself up from, you know, the ashes and shit like that.
Yeah.
And to get to where I'm at right now. Because, you know, like, cause when you walk on stage and even let's just say, for example, you would have walked on stage and you would have slaughtered the crowd. You would have had motherfuckers pissing themselves in their seat. You know, bro, like, shit like that, when you get it handed to you, you don't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
You don't.
You're not going to appreciate it, because you're going to get so hyped up in your head, like, well, shit, I'm untouchable, I'm the man. But you don't realize, like, yo, even the big comedians, the Kevin Harts, the Richard Pryors, the Steve Harveys, you know what I'm saying? The Cat Williams, they had their times, like, prime example, bro. Tiffany Haddish, she's probably one of the biggest female black comedians right now. Yeah. And I watched her early stand-ups. And I sat there in front of the TV until my face dry. I'm sitting there like, yo, she's not funny at all. But then you see her now, it's like, yo, she hot, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I say this shit to people, right? I say this shit to a lot of people. Like, I'm like, you gotta think about this for a second, right? As great as Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, all the big time comedians, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, as great as they are, that's how bad they was. They was just that bad. It's just, it takes time for them to get good. And like, I ain't gonna lie, I started like loving bombing. It was kind of strange because I started falling in love with bombing because I wanted to just, because I said, you know what, especially if I'm bombing trying new shit, I like to really just think about it, okay, why didn't that work? And it's like little keys and shit like that.
But you know, you're taking that, and I love what you just said too, because there's an old expression that I always used to hear. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And the fact that you're sitting there taking notes on every single thing you're doing right now, and you're doing your research too, and you're watching like, okay, you know, this job didn't work for so-and-so. Let me, you know, probably take that and tweak it. Bro, that's perfecting your craft right there, bro.
Yeah, I'm be honest with you, like, I really, like, I've been looking at comedians from the, like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to sound like this guy, right? Now, I be trying to watch these, I don't like none of this, I'm not, if like, the stand-ups right now I be watching, I don't think most of them are funny. Like, 9 times out of 10, I don't even sound, 9 times out of 10, they're not that funny. And I think, you know, I don't know why, it's just that they're not that funny, because, like, and I'm not talking about the greats, like, when Chris Rock drops a special, you're gonna laugh at it. When Dave Chappelle drops a special, you're gonna laugh at it. Like, Dave Chappelle, when Dave Chappelle drops anything, it's always something, like, I watch Dave Chappelle, I go, every time I see Dave Chappelle drop a special, I just go, fuck. I hate that shit, because he's so fucking good, and I go, damn, I want to be that good. I want it so bad, I get jealous. And I'm never gonna be Dave Chappelle, but I just get jealous when I see that motherfucker do what he do. I get jealous. Like, when I seen that 846, I was low-key jealous. I was mad. I'm like, fuck. Because that motherfucker was just that fucking good. And I be watching these shows now, like, none of these motherfuckers ain't that good. And I don't even want to sound like that guy. I'm not laughing. And I want to laugh, but it's probably because I'm a hater. I think I'm a hater. I may be a hater because of that, because I don't laugh at, I don't laugh at none of these niggas shits, man. That's also a reason why, like, I low-key had to stop inviting, I stopped inviting motherfuckers to my shows. Like, if you come to my show, you came to my show. I didn't invite you because I don't want you to see me in that light and then see me do bad and then you have because I know what that preconceived judgment is. I know what that shit is. Like, I've seen it, like, when I had a motherfucker invite me to a show and it wasn't that funny. And it made me look at them differently. I lost a little bit of respect for the motherfucker when I saw that show. I was like, and I don't want to be in that situation where I'm inviting motherfuckers to shows and I'm not that nice. I'm not that nice yet. And I want to be nice, but I invite you to a show and I'm not that nice. And you see me and you go, yeah, why would you? Why? And like, and I don't know. That's why I'm not inviting. It was a couple motherfuckers that popped up at my show, and I was like, how the fuck did you find out where I was at? And I had to, but luckily that day I was on, and I was able to do good. I haven't did bad in front of people yet, but they not there when I do bad. So, and if they're there when I do bad, they're like, oh, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Like, this is what you gave up everything for? If you gave up everything to fucking do bad?
But you know, but also remember too, bro, everything, especially in the field that you're pursuing, and I don't want to sit here and act like, I'm an expert in the comedy field or entertainment field because I'm not in that. But I know from the outside looking in, that whole field is subject to opinion. Because I know, even a prime example, the last stand-up that Kevin Hart came out with, I did not think that shit was funny at all. There was maybe, I would say maybe 3 or 4 jokes that he cracked. That I was like, okay, that was funny. The rest of the stand-up, I'm like, what happened to Kevin Hart?
He lost his spark, though, honestly.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's just my opinion. And I don't want nobody to think that this is fact. This is my opinion. I feel like, he's gotten so Hollywood now. Not that it's a bad thing, but, you know what I'm saying? He came up so much that he lost that, damn, I remember when I was living in the, 2-bedroom apartment, 3 kids and my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you know what it is though? Honestly, this is what they call, in the center world, it's called staying in shape. He stopped hitting the clubs, like the little comedy clubs. Like, people don't understand. People make shit on the comedy clubs. People want to do arenas. You want to sell out stadiums and shit, right? But you got to hit them comedy clubs because that's where the people are at. You stay tight off comedy clubs because a comedy club will tell you suck. If you go into a club where people want to see you, they're going to laugh at everything you do. But you got to go to people that don't want to see it. They don't know who the fuck you is. And they want to see you, and they want to see you bomb. Now, I don't want to look, and that's the worst part about it. When you're not hitting that shit like that, you get exposed. It's out there. Like, you see all the motherfuckers. That's why, like, a lot of you motherfuckers don't last. Like, when I watch Bill Burr, Bill Burr is consistently dropping great specials after great specials. And it's because Bill Burr hits the comedy club. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle hits a comedy club every single chance he gets. After he fucking, yes, every single chance he gets. I'm going to say this right now. I missed out on the chance of meeting Dave Chappelle. I'm still mad at this because I was out on a date. Look, listen, I was out on a date instead of doing my shit that I was supposed to be doing. I was out on a fucking date. And all I got was his message. Yo, Dave Chappelle's here. And I'm just like, fuck. Why? I missed out on him twice. And he stayed on stage for 3 hours.
Hold on, bro.
In front of nobody.
I got a quick question, brother.
Okay.
Did you hit?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't a total accident.
No, it was. Okay, if you get the chance, right? If you get the chance to meet one of the most impactful comedians of my lifetime, why? I don't give a fuck about some fucking pussy. I don't give a fuck about some pussy. Like, nah, I don't care. That shit is, nah. I want to meet Dave Chappelle. I missed out on him twice. And he was there for 3 hours.
Okay. But bro, the reason why I brought up the fact that, the reason why I asked if did you hit, because you got to remember too, though, dog, everything in life happens for some type of reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you, but like, everything in life happens for some type of reason. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that wasn't your time, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe like look at it this way. I'm putting you like in a perspective this way. Let's just say in maybe 2 years from now, you're still doing your comedy, you're doing your thing, you're building up. You've been building your material, now you got a fan base, the whole nine. And then you hear Dave Chappelle's in town. Now you can actually go see him and talk to him. And let him know, like, yo, this is what I've been doing, this is where I've been building up for myself. And he might look at you like, you know what, young girl, like, I see you coming up. I see something different in you. Yo, matter of fact, here's my number. Holler at me sometime.
Yeah, I told myself, I know, I understand what you're saying, because I told myself I wouldn't want to meet him anyway. Even though I missed a chance to meet him, I even told myself, look, I wouldn't want to meet him anyway because, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't, first off, I don't want to fan out that hard, because I probably would be like, hey, I probably wouldn't know what to say. I mean, I probably wouldn't know what to say. Because, like, I don't, you know, it's hard. Like, I don't, man, I'm inspired by few, right? I'm inspired by few. And I get to meet one of the motherfuckers that inspire me. that's gonna be something that's gonna. So I'm glad I didn't meet him. I'm actually low key glad I didn't meet him, but I just missed out on the opportunity. And every time I think about him, but I don't dwell on it because, like, honestly, I probably wouldn't know what to do if I met him anyway. And I'm glad I didn't meet him because I want him to meet me, not I meet him. And that sounds arrogant, but I want him to meet me where he goes, hey, yo, I like you. Cause, like, I don't know, man, I don't know what it is, cause I feel like, I really do feel like it's something in me, like, I feel like I'm just gonna make it. I don't know why. It's like, it's scary, cause I'm like, cause I'll be having to tell myself to calm down. Like, cause I'll be really, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make this shit. I can't wait. It's gonna be fucking, I feel it, but I'm like, oh, calm the fuck down, cause you're just starting off right now. You're just starting off right now, cause I get in my head sometimes because I want this shit so I've never wanted anything more like bad in my life than this, and I'm just so happy that I actually get a chance to actually do this shit.
But you know what, bro? Remember this though, man. You reap what you sow, and I'm a very, very firm believer in your thoughts become things, and the energy you put out, you have to speak things to existence. So. Yeah. I could tell the passion, even from our conversation right now. This is the first time, I remember you didn't mention it to me last time I saw you, but this is the first time I actually got to go in depth with you about it. And I can hear how passionate you are about doing this. Like, this is a dream for you. You get what I'm saying? And even with that being said, though, bro, speak that shit into existence, bro. This is what you want to do. Bro, speak and say, yo, it's not if I make it, yo, when I make it. There's a difference between if and when. If is this, okay, maybe. When this shit's gonna happen. You get what I'm saying, bro? And I can tell you gonna make it, man. Speak
that's why I made the podcast Until I'm Famous, because I'm gonna be famous. until I'm famous, I'm gonna be here. Because, you know. Hey, so let me ask you a question, all right?
What's up, bro?
I know, you know, you had, you know, got out. And now you back in, right? How do you like it now? You know, it's crazy. I'm so glad I got out when I got out because I really started seeing shit changing. And I started, motherfuckers started becoming a lot like bitches and shit. Shit started really going left when I was like in, because I was like starting looking at shit. Like I realized I was like, you know, I was brought up on you know, one of them ships that was just like, it was hard. It was full of niggas on that shit. Maybe we didn't play that shit. So I started watching you motherfuckers, all you motherfuckers are bitches, and I'm like, I ain't like how the bitches was taking over, and they started having a voice and shit. Not like women, I'm talking about bitches in general. Like, you know what a bitch is when I talk about this shit.
One of them little punk ass niggas.
Yeah, man. But how is it now? Did that shit kind of change up, or is it still a little soft?
You know what though, bro? I would say you have a mix of both. You have a mix of people who are still, you know, how we're used to it, and then you have the new niggas. Which me personally, I call them the social media niggas. Cause it's like they're so quick to hide behind their phone and, you know, duck behind your back and want to say this and that, but then when they see you, everybody's solid. But I mean, even for me though, bro, honestly, when I got out, it was more sporadic for me than, you know, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, literally, bro, like, I was they told me, yo, you gotta switch your job or get the Navy. So I was like, honestly, bro, I wasn't willing to do it. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get out. And, bro, at the time, I was 24. I'm like, you know what? I'm young, intelligent dude, good health. Let me find something to do with my life. And being on the outside, bro, I learned so much, man. Like, just dealing with, you know, civilian life just for a little bit, seeing how, you know, the Navy, still having kind of the Navy mentality, going to the reserves for a bit, like, I learned so fucking much, man. So much. Like, and sometimes you gotta realize, too, like, yeah, you have the mindset of, you know, yo, if we got an issue, you just come to the side, we can talk, or if you want to handle it another type of way, we can do that, too. But now you have these new little bitch-made niggas that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who the fuck gave them a voice, but now they have a voice. Now you hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? But being on the outside like really showed me. Sometimes you gotta remember who you're talking to, and you gotta remember where you're at in life. So even right now, like I said, bro, I'm about to turn 30. You know what I'm saying? I got a 6-year-old daughter, and my mindset right now is I'm trying to build the future. So I'm trying to go back to school for psychology to get my doctorate degree, right? I want to go back to school to trade school, actually, and get my electrician's license. I also want to go to school to fucking learn how to play the piano. But those are all stuff I want to pass on to my daughter.
Yes.
Because I'm worried about building the future. But I'm saying that to say, though, that's where my mindset is at right now, me being 29 years old. Imagine me trying to tell this to 20-year-old me back in Japan, 2011, and I just got there. And I ain't worried about nothing but drinking, pussy, and partying.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out here by myself? Nigga, what?
Exactly. Well, where I have no responsibilities, I got this fat-ass paycheck.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's all this pussy available to me. If 29-year-old me would have went back and talked to 20-year-old me, 19-year-old me, bro, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? That's all I want to hear.
I'm trying to. That's hilarious.
And that's why I say too, bro. Like, it's funny, but it's the truth. Though, because you gotta remember, the same little bitch made niggas now. You gotta remember, bro. You gotta remember who you're talking to, because you're talking to a 20-year-old kid or 19-year-old kid just left home for the first time, just got to the Navy, first time away from mommy and daddy. Oh shit, I got a paycheck, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And their minds, they're not thinking of, yo, I need to be held accountable for the shit I do. They don't see the whole, hey, one day me drinking and partying isn't going to be the priority of my life. Eventually, I'm going to need something, because, as a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you were there for him. I still remember this dude. MA1 Cook. I don't know if you remember him, if you were there.
MA1 what? MA1, no, I wasn't there for, MA1 Cook?
Cook, yeah.
No, I was only there for Ramos.
Oh, fuck that nigga. But either way.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with him either.
Yeah. But either way, it was the dude, so Ramos took over from Cook. Cook was a swole-ass black dude. Like, honestly, bro, he was like that old, that old OG, that old head back in the day, who used to see the young boys running around doing knucklehead shit, pulled to the side like, yo, what you doing? Like, you doing something stupid. And I remember, I never forget, I got to Japan when I was 20 years old. And I remember he was like, what you got planned for your life? And I'm like, look, like literally what I just said. I'm like, yo, have fun. I'm like, women out here. I got money. I'm out here dressed. What's up? He's like, hey, man, that's cool now, but, bro, you're not going to want to be that 35, 40-year-old dude up in the club trying to get up on some young girl. You going to realize how crazy
you know, it's crazy. It's like, ooh, you see that now?
Yeah. And you know what, bro? Me being a little bit older now, and when I do go out, or before the COVID, I should say, but when I used to go out and I see, people out and about, and I see these old ass dudes in the club, I'm like, yo, nigga, go home and take care of your kids, bro. Like,
where your family? What's going on?
Like, no, my dude, you look crazy. You look fucking crazy. But you know what I'm saying? But the older you get, you start realizing that shit, man. But anyway, but to basically answer your question, like, the biggest, I guess, difference I see now is like, you know what I'm saying? Not so much that I see a big difference, because at one point or another, we were there. You know what I'm saying? We were them little young punk ass niggas back in the day. The only difference is that I didn't have much of a voice per se to put motherfuckers on blast who was, fucking, I thought were fucking me over, who were higher up.
And we all done got fucked over. It's just, we all done got, and in the military, they done gave you a good fucking over real quick, just for no reason at all.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But imagine if, you know what I'm saying, like, 7 years ago or however long ago when we was in Japan, imagine if we had the same access these kids had, and your chief coming to you on some fuck shit, and you know that nigga way out of line. Back in the day, we had no choice but to suck it up.
Yeah,
and just keep
we had no
moving.
choice. But I think that shit made us tougher, though.
It did. I agree. I do agree. It did. It did. You get what I'm saying? But you know what, though? Like, a lot of shit that has happened in the past can't happen now. Like, you know for a fact, then, you know what I'm saying? I won't, especially because, you know, it's a podcast and I don't want to put people's name on blast and stuff like that. I've even seen to where, you know, I was in the military too, bro. You see you see these white people, they join the military to get a little bit of rank, and you know your grandfather, your father, and you don't like people who look like me. Yeah. And you use that to your advantage. Because I'm dealing with that right now as we speak. Yeah. My chief, he's one of them Trump supporting motherfuckers, F-150 driving, American flag waving. He one of them niggas. Yeah. And let's call space. He don't like niggas. Yeah, I know. I know your pain. He don't like your pain. Not even because of off of something I did. He don't like niggas. Just point blank period. Unless you're one of the good blacks. Oh, he don't like you. The fuck is a good black? Like, I never understood that. What the fuck is a good black? The good blacks are I'll even put you once again. The good blacks are the ones who fall in line. The good blacks are the ones who would say, oh, I'm with you. Yeah. The good blacks are the yes men. Those are the ones who, I'm going to do everything you say, just so I don't cause no friction. But I know if you are dead fucking wrong to rights, I'm not going to say shit. I'm going to agree with whatever you can say because guess what? You the white man, I'm the black man, let me sit in my place. Yes. You get what I'm saying? I understand. But you know, that's what people like him like to hear. Anybody else is going to go against him? Nah, you got to go. That's used to be my main thing to get in trouble because I used to call this shit like ass kissing. That's one thing I couldn't do. Like, I still have problems with that shit, like, now, because, like, I was never one of them motherfuckers. I had to just, like, it would take the world out. So, I didn't, like, when I was on my first ship, I didn't have, like, ain't gonna lie, like, everybody on my first ship, it was, like, more of a respecting, because on our first ship, ain't gonna lie, my first ship, it was gangsters. It was some gangsters on that ship. And I was able to follow gangsters. I didn't have to worry about fucking, once I actually found out the way from gangsters, I didn't have to, like, fucking really just, like, I didn't have to worry about kissing ass. Because it was a bunch of gangsters. Like, we all had, like, everybody on that goddamn crew, I don't give a fuck who it is. Everybody on that goddamn ship had a bond. I don't know what it was, but we know it was all cut. The only people that didn't have a bond like us, like people that came up and grew up like that, was the motherfuckers that was just coming in new. But even, like, I was friends with some of the most random motherfuckers ever, but we all had that bond. And then when I came to the new ship I was on, that's when, like, I had to start kissing ass, and I was like, I just can't do that shit. Like, I can't do that shit. And I was running into a bunch of problems. Like, I was running into a bunch of problems, but it was just something in me. I just couldn't do it. Like, I had way too much pride for me to do that shit. Like, I've been through too much shit for me to sit there and just kiss your ass like that. And but that's just, because, like, so you're on a ship now, right? Oh, so right now, actually, I'm on recruiting duty. So I'm actually about to finish this, and I'm heading back to another ship after this. Actually, next month I'll be on another ship. So every ship has any ship been better than your first ship? Hey man, definitely. I mean, bro, you know we was back in Japan together. I remember when we was on the Wilbur, bro. You remember the Wilbur? The people on the Wilbur, I promise you, man. Yeah, they were. Those are people, I promise you, man, I would never forget those people as long as I live. Never. Because, like, bro, matter of fact, even me and you talking right now, bro, the bonds I built with people back in Japan, I want to say almost every single friend I made back in Japan on that ship are friends I talked to till this day. Mind you, bro, I left Japan almost 6 years ago. Yeah. Actually, no, about over 6 years ago. Now, in 2014. I left 6 years ago. And almost every single friend I've made on that ship, I still talk to right now. At least on a regular basis. And that's beautiful, because, like, I understand. Like, honestly, though, I still get mad that, like, I low-key feel bad that I don't talk to people that I was real cool with. You know, like on the ship. Because, like, it was some motherfuckers, I'm still friends with a lot of motherfuckers on that ship today, but I still get a little mad that I'm not as cool with some motherfuckers that I was back then, because it's the kind of bonds that we built. But I know what it is though. If we just talk for a little bit, we're gonna talk for hours. Yeah,
That's
true.
that's the kind of bond that we had. If we just talk for a little bit, we're gonna talk for hours. And I know that. And and when I went to my second ship, man, I was like, this ain't like my first ship. My first ship, I don't know what it was. It's just that first ship, it was great to me. And I remember, and I took this shit from Overstreet. Overstreet had said some shit one time, and it wasn't for me. He wasn't talking to me, but I heard everything he was saying. And it was like, honestly, it was some like real powerful shit, because it wasn't for me. I don't know why he was saying this shit, but he was saying this shit to somebody. And this somebody needed this shit. And he was talking about, like, man, if I had the fucking option, right? If I had the choice, I can go back in my career. I would have got out after my fucking first term. And I was like, but he said, man, everywhere I fucking went to, I had to consistently prove myself. I go here, and I'm like, this is one of my worst commands I've ever been there, and I still gotta fucking prove myself. I've been doing this shit. I got people that look up to me, and I still gotta prove myself. And I was just like, just listening. And then that just kind of like started like, damn. And it wasn't for me, but I heard everything he said. And it made me, and I felt some type of way, right? Because after he said that shit, the motherfucker was just like, that he said it to was just throw it under the water. But I'm like, man, did you listen to anything the motherfucker just said to you? Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I don't know where I was going with that, but I felt that one though. I
feel it. No, I feel it, because, you know, that was sitting on your heart. And truth be told, man, what he said is complete fact. Because it's like, you're only as good as your last mistake.
Yes.
And that's just the way the Navy see it. And it's like, once you go to a new ship, it's a fresh start. So you could have been, you know, hot shit, perfect sailor at your last command. But if you're at your ship, you go to USS, whatever the fuck, out here in wherever in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? If you remotely make a mistake, that's all people see you as. Or they see you as, oh, you the motherfucker who was skating. Oh, you the motherfucker who did this. That's all they see you as. But this is like, yo, did you not see my rap sheet from my last command?
Yeah,
did you not see how hot I was?
I was like, my jersey in the Raptors. Like, what are we talking about? Like, at my last trip, you looked up, you can see my jersey hanging up. Like,
exactly. My jersey in the Raptors.
Yes. It's been hanging up for years. Ain't nobody fucking with it.
Exactly. I'm like, yo, how you gonna sit there and throw shit on my name?
On me? Do you know who the fuck you talking to? And like, that's when I was at the point, because I'm like, when I got to the new ship, I'm like, yo, I done did everything already. I done did everything I wanted to do. Especially for me, I came in from debt, from fucking grinding, and I able to figure out this motherfucking rate, and I became good at it. And I got to go to this ship, and these motherfuckers acting like I ain't shit. So I had to I had to prove myself again. And my chief was out to get me. We're not going to get into why. I think it has something to do with it, but we're not, you know, hey, it ain't my fault.
I feel you.
I felt a sit during a couple of trains in front of captains. Like, what do you want me to do? That shit was boring. I just did that shit. But
don't yourself like that.
I'm good. Hey, I got that 2-year policy. I'm good. So fucking, you know, that's just how it is, though. I ain't gonna lie. And when I had to prove myself at my last year, I was like, you know what? Why can't I prove myself? It all circled right back to say I can prove myself doing comedy. I'd rather prove myself doing something I love instead of prove myself doing something that I'm just good at. I was like, really, and I said, you know what? I don't have any kids. Because if I had kids, I probably would have fucking like stayed in. If I had kids, I had a family, I probably would have stayed in. But I made it specific. Like, I low key was not like trying to avoid falling in love, you know, as I tried my hardest, because like I was so afraid, because I seen some of the shit. Like, I didn't want to get married in Japan. I seen some of the shit what them women were doing. Like how you'll meet your wife in Japan, you'll take her over to America, and she'll get mad if you leave. Take your kid, go to Japan, and you stuck. You just like, I mean, I done seen that shit. I'm not having that shit going with me. I made a decision, because like when I was in the military, I looked at, all right, so me coming in the military, looking at marriage, and me looking at marriage now, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get married. I done seen some. I want to get married, but I done seen so much fucked up shit throughout the marriage. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm really cut like that. Just be dealing with that. Right?
You're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong.
Yeah, man.
And truth be told, man, and I'm evidence of this too, bro. You ain't gotta be in love to have a kid with somebody, dog. Because sometimes,
I know. I know.
Yeah, dog. No, sometimes some shit just happens, and that's why I always encourage people. I don't even want to get too much into depth on this one. I do want to ask you another question. But I would say too, man, just be careful who you're with. And even for men, I don't know if your podcast is, tailored towards, like relationship and giving men advice. You can
on my podcast, you can do whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It's my podcast. Do whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, we're gonna talk about it.
I respect, brother. Well, man, I would tell anybody, man, like, especially as men, we got to take responsibility sometimes. Like, if you know you're not feeling a woman on that level, and she don't matter to you, and she's expressing you, if you know you're here, like if you know you're at point B, and your girl is all the way at motherfucking point T, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to cut that off, because when some shit happens that you don't want, and she's gonna tell you, oh well, I got a kid now, bro. Now you're stuck. Now you motherfucking stuck. It ain't shit you can say about it, man.
Yeah, you gotta. You know what you gotta do? Just be a father.
Yeah.
That's it. You gotta be a father, and you gotta pick it up from where look, man. Like my dad goes through that shit. Like, so I understand that. Like my dad, like he has like kids. He has a bunch of kids. And some kids, he was probably like, I wasn't, I didn't know it was my kid. And then when he finds out it's his kid, he go, all right, I got to step up and be a man. And,
exactly.
And it probably was just a one night thing. But he got to step up and be a man.
Exactly,
which I'm not saying that's true. Allegedly, we're gonna go with allegedly, right?
Yeah, allegedly, of course, allegedly,
allegedly, right? But I understand, and I know because like that's just like fucking scary. But how is it being a father?
Bro, honestly, being a father for the most part, man, has really, made me realize, like, I can't move certain ways just because of the fact that I know I have a kid, right? But on the other hand, too, like, this is one thing, like, I've said to people, I've even told, my kid's mom and stuff like that, this is not what I wanted. Because even with me and my mom, at least on my part, I didn't have the feelings that she did. And it's not that I don't want kids and I don't want a family and I don't want to be married one day, but having my first child was something that it happened not the way I wanted it to.
It was like a spur of the moment thing.
Exactly. So it's like, yes, don't get me wrong, I love my baby girl. She has me cracking up sometimes. But it's not what I necessarily wanted for her. Not the life I imagined.
You didn't envision this. Exactly. But the best part is you stepping up to the ballpark.
Yeah,
you didn't walk away. You saw, hey, I gotta take responsibility for my actions. I'm a man.
Exactly, man. And man, and on top of that too, I know with me, a lot of, especially like black kids experience this growing up. And I'm kind of seeing more or less times changing now. But back in the day, man, like when we were growing up, like 90s kids and stuff like that, these dudes would just dip out on us.
Yeah.
We didn't have no cops growing up. Straight like that.
Yeah, they was gone. I didn't know it was that easy just to leave. The way these motherfuckers be leaving, they be like, oh, I gotta go. Huh? Where you going? You come back?
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta go. We're out of milk. I'm lactose intolerant. Where you going? I don't drink milk.
I'm telling you, niggas be like, I'm going to the store. And I'll never come back for your ass, boy.
Yo, and then I found out how bad it was in the 80s. Nigga, it was this nigga named, Ron Simmons. He was a wrestler. He used to always say, damn. Right? That nigga dad said, hey, yo. This is what he told his son. He said, hey, yo, I'm gonna be right back. He said that motherfucker, and he said he drove the car down, took a left, and he ain't never came back. I said,
wow,
damn, he watched his dad leave and didn't come back. I said, you know what? Hey, that's just the times of the day, man.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you though, like times have changed. But you know, I am glad now though that it's becoming, and which I like that shifting the narrative of this. It's becoming cool to be your father. You get what I'm saying? Like, and even like me, like even right now, bro, being, you know, single guy with the kid and stuff like that. Even like, yo, my daughter, I remember even sometimes, when she came out here to Cali one time, and I guess she just left her jacket on the plane or something like that. And I'm walking her through the mall, because I was like, all right, because it was like, you know, kind of cool out here in Cali. Because you know that desert cold comes down. And and I took her to the mall to go get a little jacket for her and stuff like that. And then, yo, if you would have seen the amount of women who come at you like, oh my God, your daughter's so cute. She looks just like you. Yo, women be ready to rip your clothes off because you got a kid. Like, you know?
But they're not. But what you're not taking into consideration though is you also be suited to boot it. you come in fresh out, like you know, honestly, like honestly, like you kind of I after like when I started changing my dress styles. Like, I took a little bit from you. Like, I wear dress shoes all the time now. I took that little tidbit a little bit, just put it in my pocket. It looked like I got money, but I don't. But nah, nah, so like, we didn't, I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't think people was understanding that you be dressed the fuck up. You're not one of the motherfuckers that, you would never have, like, you know, you got some friends you go like, I wonder what this motherfucker's wearing. Nah, they never have to worry about you. You know you're gonna be fresh.
You know what, though? I really do appreciate that, because you know what? The older I'm getting, I've noticed, like, a lot of my friends usually tend to come off to me like, y'all like my little bros, man. Because, like, even like I was saying a minute ago, growing up, I ain't have no pops. I had literally no male figure coming. You get what I'm saying? So, that's one of the things, now, everything I've learned, I've taught myself. So when even like I was saying a minute ago, like, yo, if you're not with somebody that you don't ultimately want to be with and it's your first kid, make sure, you know, it's something, take responsibility. And even if you got to break a couple hearts, but it's better you break a heart than you got a whole ass kid on the way with somebody that you know damn well you don't want. So I was trying to impart whatever knowledge I had, everything from, you know, the way I dress. I'm tired of looking at dudes. And, bro, why your pants hanging off your ass, bro? Well, why you advertising your ass to gay motherfuckers, but you want to claim to be the biggest motherfucking pimp out here?
Yeah, I be on them hoes. Like, it's funny though. Like, 'cause like now, when motherfuckers see me out, right, they always say, damn, like you look like you got money. Like, and I'm like, nah, it's not even like I just dress nice. Like I just know how to dress. Like, and I can ball out at Walmart. I'm done. I can ball out at Walmart. I don't, like, my clothes are not name brand. Like, none of my clothes are name brand. Thankfully, I'm able to still fit into some of the clothes I bought in Japan. But, so, like, none of my clothes are, like, name brand. I don't wear name brand clothes. The clothes that I wear may not be name brand, but they look, you'll never know. You'll never be able to tell. You'll be like, damn, that shit fire. Hey, it's, you know, just a little something I just threw together.
And that's a mistake a lot of these little niggas out here see. That's why I said the social media era. Everybody thinks that, I'm going to throw on some Jordan, so I'm fresh. Bro, I could go to TJ Maxx or Walmart, buy a couple outfits, but make that shit work for me. Yeah. And I could be out here looking fly. And the problem is with a lot of these young niggas out here too, bro, they be out here dressing for men. Yeah. You rather buy a $250 pair of sneakers so your homeboy can tell you, yo, my nigga, them shit's fly.
Look fresh. Yeah, like.
Then you throw on like a nice pair of maybe some chino pants on or something like that. Maybe some loafers and, you know, a nice shirt on and have a girl walk up to you and be like, oh, wow, you look nice today. So you rather a nigga tell you that than a female. Yeah. I don't get these young niggas though. I don't. Right. I'm telling you, but it
was one time I was wearing a pair of Stacey Adams, right? And that's not like one of the fucking, oh my God, you wear Stacey Adams. I was just wearing a regular pair of Stacey Adams, right? And I was out there, I was walking, and I'm just minding my own business. It was somewhere I was in San Diego, minding my business, right? And a motherfucker came and just grabbed me. He goes, "Oh my God, your shoes are amazing." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, thank you."
Yeah, dog. I'm telling you, man. That's how I'm made.
Nah. You know, it's crazy. What you had said though, honestly, was like something where you goes, everything you learned, you pretty much taught yourself because you didn't have a male father figure. Mm-hmm. I understand that wholeheartedly. I mean, everything, mostly so I kind of had a father figure around, but he didn't have a father either around his life, so he's not as fucking, he didn't really know how to be a man like that either. Everything he learned, he taught himself. So he probably wasn't the best father figure to have, but I kind of had somebody around, but it wasn't. It was like, it took a while for us to get to that. It took a while for us to get to that level of like, all right, we're gonna talk about it. But when I came, because I left at 18. When I got to Japan, I'm 18 years old. What I did was just took the shit that like from the motherfuckers that like I looked up to as like leaders. I took what they was doing, and I just added little bits of them to me. And then eventually, once I was able to, figure that out, I was able to find out who I really am. But I was able to just like to emulate something, have something to emulate. Because it was, to be honest with you, there was a lot of great fucking leaders when I was in Japan. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of great, like I don't give a fuck what anybody say. When I was in Japan, I was able to be around some great leaders. Like people said, like, "Oh my God, you talking about me and famous people?" Nah, I just want to meet them old niggas back again. I really do. I want to spend time with them motherfuckers back. I want to spend more time with them. I don't give a fuck about meeting somebody famous unless you date yourself. I just want to meet them old niggas again.
No, and you know, sometimes, bro, that's the most valuable thing. Because even me now, bro, like that's one of the things that I like to do. Like sometimes, like I miss them. That's why I said I don't like San Diego so much because I miss when I used to live around like black, like predominantly black communities. And I could walk in the barbershop and hear the old heads talk. And just listen to their conversation. Listen to what they've been through. And bro, you don't gotta say nothing. But listen to what the old heads say. Everybody used to think that these old heads don't know what the fuck they talking about. They talking about shit that happened 20, 30 years ago. Nah, them niggas are spitting knowledge, bro.
Yes.
They dropping jewels. Them the niggas that you need to be just to be hanging around, like, you know what I'm saying? Listen to the conversation. Listen to how they move. Listen to the mistakes that they made so you know what not to do in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's beautiful, man. I love that shit.
I'm telling you, bro. And that's one of the things, bro. I miss that, man. I definitely miss that because there's like a few cats out here who's like a lot older than me. That like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they talk, I just love to hear them talk because it's like they always dropping some type of gems in everything they saying to you. You know what I'm saying? Even when you think it's a joke or you think it's just this old nigga don't know his thoughts, this old ass drunk. Nah, this man know what he's talking about, bro. He know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, and like that's the beauty of it though. Is like I just like being around. Like I like being around history too. I love listening to that shit. Like just listen to people listen to people's paths that they take. Like I look up to people's paths. Like when you know Steve Harvey, how you say you like Steve Harvey. Look at Steve Harvey's path. That motherfucker's path was he went from being homeless, washing up in a fucking hotel room, like in the hotel bathroom. And they looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing? You washing up, crying. But you know what? And he didn't give up. You look at that motherfucker and like, God damn. It's like, I love looking at people's stories and like how they got there. Like my grandpa had recently passed, right?
Man, condolences, man.
Oh no, thank you. You know, he was a great man. He lived a good life, and you know when he passed, man, I started finding out. No matter what people say, right? Because people gonna say whatever they want to say about him, no matter all his transgressions, all the shit that he's probably done in his lifetime. You start to realize how much of a great man he really was, you know. And like I just started listening to his story. Like people, like I remember when he told me about his whole story, and I had the best time with him telling about his whole story. But I started hearing everybody else tell me about his story.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this is something that I've missed, you know, because I ain't gonna lie, when I wasn't born in Texas. I live in Texas. I was born in Rockville, Illinois. And when I went back up to Rockville, Illinois, I was actually around my whole family. I ain't been around them motherfuckers since I was 6. So I'm around my whole family. And now I'm starting to really I was starting to get that family experience. And one thing Granddad always said was like, I wanted to get the family together. And, you know, I started like listening to everybody tell me about them, and it just shit just started like make me look at things differently. Like, I just want to just, you know, build that shit. You know, I'm starting to. 2020 has been very fucking rough. 2020 has been the roughest. 2020 has been rough, man. 2020 has been this. I ain't never cried so much this year. I ain't never cried so. I've not cried this much since I was a kid. You know, I'm be honest with you. I'm you know, when Kobe died, nigga, I cried like a little fucking girl. Like, I cried, and I didn't look, man. He was my favorite basketball player, and you know, I would get to heated arguments about Kobe, right? And when Kobe died, I was just a wreck. I felt like somebody, like my sister died. But I'm like, I knew Kobe for like 20 something years. Like, I've been watching him every single day. I preach Kobe. And then watching him die, I was like, okay, this is the worst. And then, you know, when my grandpa had passed, I cried because of that. But, you know, that's you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to cry. Yeah. But I was not expecting me to cry that much when Kobe passed. And it fucked me up because I was just so hurt. And then, like, all the situations, like all the 9 people that passed, it was just one thing that just really hurt. So, and like this 2020, and then the coronavirus come in, shut everything down. The government shut down. You know, they start laying off people at their jobs. You know, they laid me off at my job. Thank God they laid me off at my job. I hated that job. But we're not gonna. I hated that motherfucker. But I was just doing it because, you know, they was paying me extra. Fucking, you know, and 2020 has just been rough. But I'm like, you know what? I'll get through it. I'm gonna get through it.
But you know what though, bro? Like, and even not even to dwell on that too, because you know, now even that you mentioned that, bro, that's how me and you connected when I was back in Japan. Bro, when I say that I love Kobe to my heart, bro, that was literally my childhood hero. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even like I mentioned before, I had no pops growing up. I had no male figure. And I remember, like, of course everybody know, of course, yo, much respect to the GOAT Jordan, but Jordan was around when I was like a small kid. I can literally remember watching Kobe's games. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I remember, yo, I would damn near be ready to swing at somebody over Kobe. You can't believe that, like, for real. Yo, you can't talk bad about Kobe in front of me. We gonna have a whole ass issue.
Do you remember I used to get into it with Sean Dunn about that shit? Do you remember when me and Sean Dunn used to get into heated arguments about this shit? And this is a serious, but because of that, me and Sean Dunn got cool. Like, me and Sean Dunn got cool. Like, me and Sean Dunn was actually cool because we used to get into heated arguments about Kobe. Because he'd be like, Jordan, nah, I was like, Kobe's better than Jordan. Kobe's way better than Jordan. And he'd be like, nah, he ain't better than Jordan. And me and him would just get into it. And then he became a fan when Kobe was just going off. He goes, Kobe really is great.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what, bro? Another thing too. Off the record though, probably when we off the podcast though, bro. I definitely got to talk to you about some shit because it's gonna blow your mind. But we can talk about that later. Okay. I want to ask you another question too, brother. So of course, you know, the transition from, because you remember I got out for a little bit myself, and you know, I would talk to the, you know, veterans and stuff like that. And I got back in, you know, you stayed just civilian life. I mean, what was your experience getting out, man, as far as like, you know, mental health, and what was like the hugest differences, like when you got out and when you were in? Like, you know, what changed as far as like maybe your mindset? Did you, like, was it, you know, good transition for you? Did you go through a lot of like maybe like I said, man, mental health things? Like, you know, how was it for you getting out, bro?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. All right, so the best part about, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, the best part when I got out, before I got out, like, but right before, like, all right, so flashback to early 2014, late 2013, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had one of the most serious epiphanies in my life, right? I've never had an epiphany before, but I had an epiphany that time, right? Where I think my epiphany came in because like it was a point in time like I'm like, yo, I'm going out every night, and I'm doing all this, but I ain't got no motherfucking money. I'm getting paid every week, and I ain't got no motherfucking money. Where the fuck is my money going? And I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And this when I was like, you know what? I gotta figure out what's going on. All right. So this is where I really started becoming me. Is because like what I did was I stopped talking to everybody at one point. You know, except for the major people. I stopped talking to everybody at one point. And then that's when I ran into, that's when I started, cause I was already cool with Battles and Herrera, but I got cool, and Battles and Herrera, those are my motherfucking, my dogs. Like, I remember what, like they taught me so much without even trying to teach me,
Yeah.
and like Herrera, he taught me like laughing. Like I never, like, I would never think that like laughing would just mean that much, but like Herrera taught me like laughing, about just laughing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck it was, but he'd just laugh. His laughing like fucking calm me down. And Battles taught me how to fight. We're not gonna get into that. He taught me how to fight. He beat my ass a couple times. But I started hanging out with them, and they was more on the chill vibe instead of going out. They said instead of we're gonna go out and spend money, how about we go explore? And then so after that, I had the epiphany. I'm like, you know what? I wanted to learn how to cook. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to cook. Even though the food was amazing in Japan, I still want to learn how to cook. So I started learning how to cook. And then Battles had said some shit that kind of insulted me. What did he say? He said, you smart, but you don't fucking read. I ain't appreciate that. I ain't appreciate that shit at all. So I said, you know what? Fuck you, man. I read. I haven't read in years, though, when they told me this shit. Like, I haven't read in years. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. So I started getting back into reading books. I think the first book I reread one of the books that I read when I was a kid. It was called Black Tattoo. So I started getting back into reading, right? I ended up stumbling across this book, and I found it right when I left Japan. I ended up stumbling across this book. And then, I'm gonna be honest with you, this ain't no promo. I don't get paid for this shit. I'm gonna send you the book, but this book changed my life for the better. Because it made me realize everything is such a mental game, and it helped calm me down on like multiple levels. Because you remember how bad my anger was. You remember how bad my anger was. I had anger issues. It was like I had anger issues. But you know what calmed me down off my anger issues in the beginning, before the book? It was Hall. Hall used to make me fucking go like, yeah, you're right. Like, there was one time I was mad. Look, listen, this is the stupidest shit to be mad about. And if you never was in the military, you'll never understand why I was mad. I was mad because they made us do sweepers 15 minutes early. People don't understand, like, that's stupid to think about that shit now. But, like, if you was in the military, you know what the fuck I was talking about. I was like, I was getting so mad at that shit, right? They made us do sweepers 15 minutes early. And I was stupid, man. I was mad. And I'm like, and I'm going to go talk to Hall. I said, man, I can't believe they made me do this shit. And Hall goes, he says, oh, I said, what are you mad for? And I go, I tell him, he goes, and right? You're mad about sweeping. You're in Japan. And you're mad about sweeping. You know people from the hood that has never left the hood, and you're mad about sweeping. And I go, well, hey, man, I can still be mad. Yeah. And it calmed me down, like, you know what? Okay. And that's how I started realizing I had an anger issue. But when I got out, when I went to fucking, to San Diego, I found this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And Psycho-Cybernetics, man, that book, it came out in 1959. But if you read that book, that's the only book you really need to read to, like, help your mental health. And I read books on mental health right now, right? And then I also think you should talk to a therapist, too. I think everybody should talk to a therapist. And not to talk to a therapist, like, if you want to keep going. But I think a lot of motherfuckers are holding on to shit that they've never ever had the chance to let it out. And, like, what I used to do if I was going through some shit, I'd go to a therapist, pay, like, $70, and I go and I speak for hours. Let this motherfucker get everything that was on my mind, and I'll leave. And I'll never go back to him. But I got it out. I got everything I need to say out. I encourage talking to therapy. So my transition to getting out, because every now and then I deal with, I think everybody deals with depression, anxiety. I deal with depression and anxiety, but I know how to manage it because of the book, because of that book. And it may not be the same for you, but I can give it a shot. I can give you the book. I'll give you a shot to see if it can be the same. But the person that I know who read the book, he came to me and said, yo, that book really opened my eyes to a lot of shit. And I just try to throw that book out there to anybody. But fucking when I was getting out, I was able to, keep everything under control because I was able to, I got on top of my mental health before it really became a problem. And I don't know if I may deal with PTSD like that. I know I probably got it. I know I got it, but I don't know when it's gonna come out. Hopefully it don't, because it's ended. But I think everybody who's really served their country for more than 4 years has PTSD, because think about the trauma that, like, I don't know. I think it may come out if I smell lead paint. If I smell paint, I may snap. I don't know. I don't know. That may be it. I think so. If I smell paint, I may snap. If I see haze gray, I may snap. I don't know. Right? But, I think everybody everybody deals with that. So, but I was able to get on top of it before it really became a problem. And I was like, and then now, it's such a thing now where, like, everybody's big on mental health now. I was like, wow, I really missed that. I'm so glad I got on it before it got worse. I'm so glad I got on my anger issues before it got worse, because it could have only went left.
Definitely, brother. Hey, you know what, bro? I'm glad you even mentioned a few things. You mentioned, even speaking on the mental health thing and reading the book and going to therapy. But before I even touch on that one, because I'm actually about to surprise you a little bit in a second.
Okay.
Even before that, you were mentioning the Hall. I remember Hall. You talking about FC, right? Hall
FC, big 6'7". Oh,
yeah,
I love that motherfucker, man. I love that motherfucker to this day.
Yeah, man, cool dude. And you know what, man? It's funny that you even mentioned that, though, dog, because it even piggybacks off of what I said earlier, man. You got to remember sometimes who you're talking to. Because I remember Hall, he was a little bit older. So you remember even I said earlier, like, yo, you see when these little young, 22, 23-year-old motherfuckers out here, and you're at the age you're right now, you're in the mindset you are now, you have to realize that you are mad about sweepers. And he said it so perfect. You are the motherfuckers that live in a hood right now who have not left the four corners of their city. And you're out here all the way across the world in a whole foreign country. And you're complaining about sweeping. And you're still making more money sweeping than you are than these motherfuckers who is a cashier at motherfucking Walgreens. No disrespect to nobody who work at Walgreens, but
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No disrespect to Walgreens. It's just, it is what it is.
But you do know, like, regardless of your paycheck is guaranteed first and the 15th, no matter what.
Yes.
And these dudes out here scrambling for hours. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and it was like I said, and that goes back to even what I was mentioning earlier. Sometimes you just gotta remember who you're talking to. Because even like sometimes even like my younger guys come to me now, or like, like some of the junior sales and stuff like that come talk to me now. And sometimes I'm gonna look at them like, you really bitching about this? But I have to remember, like, you kind of have to, sometimes before you respond to their problems, you have to first put yourself in their shoes and then give them a logical answer. You get what I'm saying? So that way they can understand. So, like, you're not going to be like, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound stupid. But you can understand where they're coming from. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And that's definitely one of the biggest things I've learned. Even like you mentioned earlier, what's the difference between, basically being active, getting out, and then going back in. Me kind of seeing, civilian life for myself, getting out and seeing how civilian mentality is. And then, of course, me coming fresh from the military 5 years, I did 2 shifts back to back. I'm seeing the difference. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm saying to say that, but either way, too. And I also love the fact you touched on going to therapy, bro. Right now, I would say I'm the biggest advocate for, especially black men, go to therapy. Well, me right now, I go to therapy every other Friday. 2 times a month I go to thank
you a lot. That makes me want to cry. That's how beautiful that shit is, honestly. That's beautiful, man. I want to, you know, it's crazy. Before you say it, I want to get this out there too. Is sometimes I don't do it. I don't reach out, but I think about you, and I do want to reach out. I do want to reach out, but I just don't, and I feel shitty sometimes because you know how many times I probably wanted to reach out, but I just never did. I think about everybody. I don't know how my mind is, but I think about everybody. Sometimes I don't reach out, and I just want to let you know. I think about you sometimes, Willis. It is what it is. No, and I ain't trying to come off like that. I think about you sometimes, right? But I just don't reach out because I ain't shit. But with that, and the reason why is because like I always remember this saying: check on your strong friend.
So true.
And then I'm like, you know what? Because you think they got it, but you never really know. You never really know what they're going through. You never really know what they're going through.
And you know, bro, I'm even glad you said that, dog, because I'm gonna let you know right now, like, you know who was back in Japan, you know. But matter of fact, you just mentioned before you had anger issues. Yo, bro, I specifically remember you. It was you, dog. We was down in birthing one day, and I can't remember who pissed you the fuck off, but somebody made you hot. And bro, you was ready to take a head off.
Yes.
Whoever pissed you off, and I would never forget, bro.
It probably was McKinney.
Probably. It had
because McKinney used to fuck with, like, I'm telling you, McKinney, I miss McKinney. McKinney could do shit just to fuck with me. Like, I went to them motherfuckers, listen, if you don't understand, I don't give a fuck if you don't understand about the military, but we have to make our raps every morning, right? He stripped my fucking rap with all my clean clothes and threw that shit in the dirty clothes thing that I just washed in front of dirty wet clothes. And then...
No reason.
No reason at all. Well, it probably was a reason, but hey, he had to do that shit, all right? But I'm sitting there going to get, putting my shit back together while I got to rewash my whole clothes and shit. He over there still talking shit to me. He's still in my ear talking shit to me. Like, he can't be doing that shit. And I'm just sitting there. Man, I wanted to throw up how mad I was. Oh my God. But that may be the time that I was fucking on 10. And I've been on 10 a couple of, more than 5, 6, or 7 times.
That's true. That's true, bro. Hey, you know what though, dog? Like, I remember, bro, you came to me in birthing one day. And then, like, for some reason, for like you, Trey, Marsh, just battles, like, all of the younger dudes in the shit, y'all will all look up to me and be like, yo, wait, like, every time before y'all was about to do something crazy, y'all will always come to me, like, yo, Riz, yo, I'm about to slap the fuck out this nigga. I'm like, all right, yo, let's talk about this for a second. Like, I'm not gonna stop you for what you about to do, but remember, there's a consequence behind it. Yeah. So you can do it, but are the consequences worth it? You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, just over time, bro, it's like, don't forget, like, the strong people will always give you advice like myself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love helping my guys out. Because even, I don't want to put his name out, but you actually know him because he was on the ship with us. Bro, he ended up getting up in the Navy, going through a lot. You know, this man called me the day he was about to kill himself. And I had to talk him off the ledge. Like, no bullshit, bro.
Listen, I've had that before. And I've had that before, and the best part about with that is that I'm glad you reached out. Because the thing about suicide is, you don't know, you think that shit's only, you think you good, right? You think, all right, so when it's over, you really did more damage than you actually thought you did. Like, you hurt everybody. Man, you hurt everybody. I'll be honest with you, you hurt everybody. And like, I know I've had that call before, and and it's something that honestly you should feel honored that you got that call. Man, and I've had that call probably like what three times, and each time, no matter what the fuck I was doing, I stopped everything I was doing, and honestly, it made me happy to actually be in the position of being considered, right? Because you could have called anybody, and you obviously saw something in me to call me.
Exactly.
And you the man. You're the man.
And you know what? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're the man because you stood up to the cause. You took the cause and you wore that shit properly. You're the man.
And you know what, bro? I had to because, truth be told, bro, I dealt with my own shit before I was at that low point, bro. It's like, and like I said, I'm glad you brought up the whole mental health thing because, bro, like, I didn't start seeking therapy until I was past my breaking point, bro. I was past it. Of course, I don't want to even give, the personal energy and nothing like that. But you remember even when I got out, I got fucked over by somebody and, bad situation. I don't want to.
Well,
I didn't want to get
the whole situation. I remember the whole situation.
I didn't want to give him no energy. But,
you know what I'm saying?
But you know what, honestly, bro, like, I was dealing with shit before that. But truth be told, man, like I said, I call spade a spade. That was honestly that was the last situation that just broke me, man. That shit broke me, bro. When I said I have never been at such a low point in my life, man. Never in my life. I was out the Navy. Even when the whole situation happened, it's like I noticed people smooth cutting me off, bro.
Man, and I never wanted to do that. Cause I felt so sad. Like I was sad cause when I found that out, I was like, no. But here's the thing about it. You don't know how to come at people when they're going through that. I didn't know how to come. I know how to come at people now. I didn't know how to come at you, but I'm glad like how our friendship was.
Yeah.
Like I think, cause I remember, when we finally, our friendship was like, all right, we're gonna talk about it. I just gotta stay around him for me to talk about it. And that's how I was able to cause like I didn't know what to say, honestly. Especially, you was always, higher than me. I didn't know what to say, honestly, but I knew if I just stayed around you, me and you go talk about it. And that's what that's the only thing I knew how to do with you. Cause I remember when you went to that shit, and it was fucked up to see. And I said, you know what? I don't know how to talk to him about it. Now I know how to talk to people about it, but I didn't, cause that's honestly, I know how to talk to you about it. But I remember you going through that shit, and it hurt me. It hurt to see that, especially not you. And I knew you had everything planned. You was gonna go to. We're not gonna get into where you was going to go, but you was good. And I was that hurt me to see that. I just didn't know. But it's crazy. I went to that shit on my first fucking, my first month on board.
Really?
You remember? You might not remember, but everybody stopped talking to me. Everybody stopped talking to me.
We're going to have to talk offline about that one, but I don't remember that one.
Man, all right. I can talk about it because I'm not in.
Go ahead, then, brother.
All right, so fucking, you may not remember her, right? But it was a particular IT2, right? I just got to the ship. I don't really know nobody. I just know whoever's in deck, right? And I knew everybody whoever's in deck, right? So I'm sitting. I just know whoever's in deck, and in boot camp you taught don't nobody felt push-ups and sit-ups, right? So nobody felt push-ups and sit-ups. And we had to do a PRT. And no matter what, you just doing a PRT. I don't know nobody, but some random IT2 chick came to, I'm not going to say her names, but it rhymes with Shmuba Kabla. Right? Yes, right?
I did not know that one. Whoa.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's deep, though. It's some deep shit. She came in front of me, and she started doing her shit, but she didn't do it well. She like actually was kind of terrible at it. And
yeah, I remember.
Me being me, I was like looking at him like, yo, I had to ask. I had a judging call. I'm like, yo, am I gonna help her or like let her fail? And I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just gonna help her. All right. And I helped. I reached out and I helped. I lied about her numbers and shit like that. And I thought it was nothing other, right? But a particular female came to me and like pressed me hard. I'm like, nah, she did that. She goes, I watched it. She didn't do that. I'm like, nah, she did that. Like, cause like, yo, I ain't gonna tell you mine. Like, I'm just not gonna just sit there and say, yeah, I'm lying. But here's the thing. So I'm like, yo, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, why is she doing it? But when she went to what the chick that came and pressed me about it, cause I did that shit out the kindness of my heart. I don't know the chick. I don't know her. I just did this out the kindness of my heart. She told my LPO, and when he wasn't my LPO, BM1, LJ. LJ came to me. LJ came to me and said, "No, I'm gonna stop. It's fucked up." He stutters. He goes, "What did you tell me?" Yo, but so he came. He came. It took him 2 minutes to tell me what he was saying, right? Nah, let me stop. I miss LJ. He was great people, but
oh shit!
Actually, LJ is the person he told me to talk to you. He said,
really?
Yeah, LJ said, I know you're trying to get on hoes. We'll talk to Wiz. That was it.
Yeah, I did not know that.
But LJ, that's how solid LJ. LJ was a solid ass mother. I don't give a fuck. LJ could have did as much bad shit as he want. I still looked at LJ. I still held LJ in a different light.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is how much I respected him, man. And no matter what he did. Now, he probably wasn't the greatest, but I still respect LJ like that, right? And people, people talk shit about him, but like, whatever. I still respect LJ. But so fucking LJ came and told me, he said, you just shouldn't have to lie. But he said, this is what you should say. And he told me what I should say. And I'm like, he said, but you should be good about it. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah. And I go to sleep. I got the red watch. I'm gonna go get some sleep. And then I get somebody looking for me in Berlin. He says, yo, they need you to go to CMC's office. They need you to go to CMC office. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm so green to this shit. I'm like, what the fuck I need to go to CMC's office for? So I go to CMC's office and I see my chief. I see the person that pressed me, CMC, and it's me. He goes, what happened today? I went out. I had fun. Forgot all about the PRC, right? Forgot all about this shit. I went out. I enjoyed my time. What he said? No, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about what happened with PRT. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't lie now, but every time I used to lie, I felt bad. I don't know what I felt bad. Like I hate liars now, but like I felt like shit every time I lied, like back then. So I said, you know what? This is my time to come clean and be honest, right? And I looked CNC in his eyes and I said, I lied. I helped her out. And he says, why'd you do that? Because it was, what if this is her last therapy? She feels she can't take care of her kids and her family. I wouldn't want that to be on I wouldn't want that to be on my hands. I'm being honest. Like, I'm just being real honest. He goes, but we all gotta do it. But he gave me that shit. But he goes, at the end he goes, all right, I understand why you did it though. Don't worry. We'll never talk about this again. Nigga, the next day, I am in DRB. Like, and I'm like, whoa. What's going on? What happened? What happened? I'm standing outside the chiefness. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just standing outside the chiefness. I'm just like, what's going on? And they pulled me in. First off, they pulled me in, and they realized that she didn't have shit to do with it. It was all me, because they tried to make it seem like she was like the fucking one. But I'm like, nah, it was me. It was all the shit. She didn't tell me shit. I did this shit out the kindness of my heart. And these niggas, I'm telling you, man, everybody fucked me up. I'm talking about, I'm looking every single direction. They was cursing me the fuck out. I'm like, And you know how many times I had chance he said, you don't belong in my fucking Navy. You don't belong in my fucking Navy. He told me this shit like at least 8 times. And I'm like, yo, maybe I just don't belong in this Navy. But, so,
Right.
so fucking, I'm just like, well, what the fuck? And he goes, this is what fucked me up. He goes, we'll see if we'll let you know if it goes up or not. And I leave. First off, like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, tell about the ship, I still didn't find out if it went up. They never told me anything. It just went, yo, but like, so, but after I got out, DRB, everybody that I talked to, except for a couple people that I talked to, stopped talking to me. Everybody.
Wow.
You know, not you, and not, D, you know, I don't want to say his name, but what I'll call him. Yeah, I'll just call him D, yeah. He used to work in the store. Yeah. But, store guy.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, store guy, right? Store guy, Billy Marsh. But everybody else stopped talking to me. But you know who did come to me and say some shit to me? When I was in the dumps. I was just sitting there looking like I didn't know how to talk. I was hurt, honestly. I was hurt. I was like I was real hurt. And I was like, and I ain't never felt like that before where everybody like kind of like turning back on me. They was like looking like Sanchez. And I ain't gonna lie, it hurt me. It hurt. What you about to say? Jake Sanchez. He came and he said some shit. He goes, what happened? And he goes, and I told him, and he goes, you'll be good. He says, I've been through this shit so much. You're good. And I was like, okay. But that's the kind of relationship me and Sanchez had. Sanchez is one of the motherfuckers that like, I really did love Sanchez. Like, Sanchez did everything wrong, but I fucked with it. Like, anything he did, everything wrong. But I just fucked with Sanchez, right? So, but Sanchez came and told me that shit, and I was just like, okay. But everybody still acted different, like I was the fuck up. I was the fuck up. People talk to me just to find out what happened, because they never knew what happened.
Oh, but trust me, you preached to the choir, because even though our situations were a little bit different, it was the same thing though, because even me and that person had mutual friends, right? And as soon as shit went sideways, and I don't know if that person had, drug my name or drug my character through the dirt or what it was, but yo, I literally watched people switch on me. And I'm like, I'm not even the one who did anything wrong.
Yeah,
because nothing else about me though, bro. Like, I'm the type of person, I never sit here and claim that, I'm Mr. Goody Two Shoes, I'm innocent, I wear a halo or there ain't no stains on my record. I don't never act like that. But if I did something wrong, bro, I would tell you as a grown man, my bad, Zay. My bad, Zay, brother. Yo, I fucked up, dog. Bro, I didn't do nothing. Till this day, bro, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I did. Till this day.
You don't stop. You didn't do anything wrong. And you didn't do anything wrong. You was good.
Yeah, but you know what though, like, and I have to make peace with that, bro. When I say, dude, like, that situation, bro, when I say it broke me in so many ways, yo. Mentally, like, this was the first time in my life I doubted myself as a person, bro. A lot of people don't even know, man. I was living in my car for a little while, dog. I was living in my fucking car, dog. Because what ended up more or less happening was, even when I got out back in 2015, actually, bro, I had plans to move to Texas because I got a job offer in Texas, and that's the move I was gonna make. Yeah. Somebody from our old ship on the duty, somebody had hooked me up and was like, "Yo, I'm from Texas. I know somebody that works at an oil refinery company."
You was making
really good money.
You was making bank, nigga.
Exactly. And you know what? I turned that down, and I was like, nah, let me see, how this situation play out. And I stayed in San Diego for, just to see how the situation was going to play out. Bro, when I say, like, I don't know, and you probably know once I say this, but same thing, on the last ship, African cat.
Yeah.
Engineer, African cat, man. I still remember it was right after the incident had happened, bro. I was so depressed, bro. When I say, and then the bad part is though, it seemed like everybody knew but me. Everybody who was smiling and laughing in my face knew except for me. And bro, like I remember, man, I was so depressed one night, bro. I tried to run my car off the road, and the same African dude I just mentioned, he was the one who was like, "Nah, bro, like, I'm gonna get you home safe," type of thing. Like, bro, I was homeless for a while until actually one of your counterparts who used to work with you over there in combat, man. And definitely salute to him, too. Good dude.
I already know. I already know.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to talk about that. That get me tight too. That get me tight. I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good dude, man.
Yeah.
He's the one who
that's a great man that's a great man.
Solid dude,
man.
And when I say, yo, he reached out to me. He was like, yo, bro, like, I know shit ain't really working out for you right now. He was like, yo, you can crash on my couch for a little while if you need to, just so you ain't, sleeping in your car and shit. You know what I'm saying, bro? And when I say, that was just the start of it, dog. I'm talking about after that, I started getting anxiety attacks. Like I said, the depression was so bad. It's like, I know we drink in the Navy and stuff like that, but bro, when I say I literally turned into an alcoholic, bro, it's like,
I understand.
I was literally drinking just to function as a normal person.
Yeah.
Like how I'm having a conversation with you right now and stuff like that, bro. I had to drink just to hold conversations with people. I was that low. You know what I'm saying? Like even and bro, honestly, I was suicidal at that point too. I really was, and I'm like, yo, honestly, like, I would never forget, bro. Even after the whole time, like when I ran my car off the road, bro, I still remember. I literally prayed to God the next day. And I was like, yo, I was upset that I survived. And I literally prayed to God. I was like, yo, can you please take me off this earth? I don't want to be here no more. And, bro, like, when I say, like, and shit just kept tumbling from there. And it wasn't until, like I said, the anxiety attacks, everything. Even when I got back in the Navy, more shit kind of, was just piling on top of that because I never actually addressed the issues I was dealing with.
The actual issues, like, you were fixing the surface issue, but you never really dig that goddamn deep to get to what you need to get to.
Exactly. And it wasn't even like it was just that one issue, but like I said, that was just the issue that broke the camel's back. Just so much stuff, just from my childhood and, even getting to the Navy. And bro, you said it so perfectly before and it's coming back to my mind now. You took that year off to kind of, take a break and get back to yourself. I never stopped. I went right from forward deployed Japan, went on the next ship, did a motherfucking 10-month deployment, and bro, it was just boom, boom, boom. Like I never stopped.
Yeah.
And honestly, the same thing. Bro, I promise you, it caught the fuck up to me, bro. That shit caught up to me bad. And then honestly, man, it was so bad to the point where my anxiety attacks were, I was getting anxiety attacks before, like just randomly. I'll be driving the car on the highway for no apparent reason. It's not even like nothing's going on, but I'll just be driving, getting an anxiety attack. And if you've ever had an anxiety attack, it's very scary. Like, you feel like
you don't really know what the fuck's going on. You feel like you're dying though, honestly.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Like you're having a heart attack.
Exactly. And even if anybody listening to this who's never had an anxiety attack or don't know what it is, or you've had a feeling that you're not sure, if you're ever feeling like, the best way I can explain it, imagine you're in the elevator. The elevator's closing in as it's falling. Your heart's racing, you're hyperventilating, you get lightheaded, your stomach starts like wrenching. It's a horrible, you literally feel like you're about to die. And I was getting those feelings randomly. To the point that even when I was in my office, like on recruiting duty, when I was in my office, bro, like I was getting that shit randomly to the point like I'd be talking to applicants and I would have to be like, yo, excuse me, I gotta step out for a second just to get my shit together, just for a little bit. And it was at that point I was like, yo, bro, I was that bad. But the thing about it is though,
can I ask you a question now?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
What made you? What was the straw that brought the comes back when you said I'm gonna go to therapy?
Honestly, bro, it was just that I was at just that point where I was like, yo, something got to change.
Oh, you was tired of it.
Yeah, I know for a fact, man, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Because even like, of course, like, bro, you've known me for years, and even like I said, like, check on your strong friends. Cause I'm always giving people advice, and when people call me, you know, I can put on that face real quick. So, okay, cool, I'm gonna help this person out, or I'm gonna help my friends out real quick. But I wasn't good behind closed doors. When I'm by myself, I'm not okay. I wasn't at the time. But now I'm so much better. I've gone to therapy. I've done the work. I'm great. I'm excellent now. But before, I was not okay, bro.
You know what's crazy is, like, I remember when I found out that, you know, when I found out about your situation before the one in, you know, the one before prior, when I found out about that motherfucking situation, I was like, why did you call me? But you gotta make sure, you know, cause I was shocked, cause I remember, we was at D House. We was talking about it. We was at D House talking about this shit. We might have been gone, or we might be a little drunk, but hey, we was talking about it. But I was just like, cause, you know, I never knew. And you would never know until somebody tell you. I never would have known. Cause like, you would see you on the outside, you'd be like, yo, this motherfucker look like he got it. Like, he good. Happy, laughing at everything, but you would never know. I never would have known.
But you know what, though, bro? And this is even one thing I've learned even through, like I said, my own experiences and going through that whole situation. Like, you know, bouncing back from even attempting suicide multiple times, depression, anxiety, dealing with that whole thing, you know, living in my car for a bit, going from, you know, I got it doing this and that, and living in my damn car, bro. I have a Mustang, bro. I have a 2-door car.
Yeah, very small car.
Living in my damn car, Nothing else I've learned, bro. Sometimes when you know that, you know, you got me on social media. You know I'm not the type of person. I'm not flashing on social media. I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this, I'm around a bunch of bitches. You know that's not me. But if I am posting something, it's legitimately what I'm doing. It's not no flex. And honestly, bro, I was embarrassed. I had like, cause even the same friend that we had back in Japan, like, and offline we'll talk. But even with him, when he called me and, you know, I kind of talked him off the ledge, and it wasn't even on something he really called me just because he had me in mind. It just so happened that I saw him on Snapchat and he was driving and I hit him up. I'm like, oh, bro, shit, you're moving again? I didn't know. And he was like, yeah, bro, dealing with a lot right now, blah, blah. I was like, yo, here's my number. Yo, whenever you get a free moment, like, seriously, call me. Because I know that whole, yeah, I'm good, yo, but,
man,
you know, bro, I'm telling you, I know, because I was that person.
Yeah.
Where you're telling people you're okay, but, yo, you're dying. You're honestly, you're drowning. And, like, you don't have that one hand that's still hovering over the water, but that's all that's over the water still. And as soon as that sinks down, you're gone. Yeah. And I caught it when he said it, and when he told me everything that was going on, I knew, bro. You know what I'm saying? And even like the question you asked before, like, you know, like what made me go? Like I said, it was just that breaking point, man. It was really that fucking breaking point, and I couldn't function another day. I was at the desperate point in my life. I'm like, yo, I literally have nothing else to lose. Like I even mentioned before, you know, I got my little girl and stuff like that, but of course, this whole situation with me and her mom and, you know, how things came about.
Yeah.
It's not that I wasn't thinking about her, but I'm like, yo, I don't even have the relationship. Well, at the time, I'm sorry, let me specify that at the time, I didn't have the relationship with her to the point that I was, honestly, in my mind, I was thinking so irrationally to the point, well, shit, if I die today, she ain't even gonna notice I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I was really, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna know that, hey, I got a dad and he was, you know, Jamaican. That's about all I know about him. You know what I'm saying? And I was, at the time, I was content with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, bro, I'm a big, like, therapy saved my fucking life, bro. It really did. Being able to open up, talk about things, getting the tools I need to, you know, get through another day. realizing a lot about myself. I had to check myself in a lot of ways too, and realize that sometimes, like even like you remember, I even brought up before that day you came to me, you was mad and birds, and you was ready to tear off McKinney's head. Truth be told, bro, as much as you might have been angry at that time, and you might have thought that, damn, I really want to slap the shit out of this motherfucker. That's an irrational thought, because cool, you're going to do that, but what's the consequences afterwards? Or shit, if 1 year from now, he's going to be off the boat or you're going to be off the boat. So you just sacrificed, you made a permanent decision off of a temporary situation. So is that really a rational thought? You know what I'm saying? And even like I had to learn so much about myself to realize that, yo, I really do think very irrationally sometimes because of how I might be feeling, or, you know, what you see right now is not ultimately where you're going to end up. And believe me, man, that's why I said the last, like, I want to say probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, I went to therapy. And, no, I'll say about a year and a half. I started going about, like, February of 2019. And, bro, I promise you, it was the best thing I could have did for myself, man.
That's beautiful. I know you. I'm not question because, like, I remember way back in the beginning, you had said you wanted to learn how to play the piano. You had to want to learn how to do this. You had to learn how to do that. How does it feel actually doing the stuff that you said you want to do?
Honestly, it feels amazing. Because
don't it?
It's like, yeah, it does. Because, you know, right now, man, the decisions I'm making, it's for me. It's not for anybody else.
Yeah.
It's decision that's making me happy. And you know, there's nothing else I've learned. My happiness does not have to make sense to anybody else but me. Because you're not walking in my shoes, you're not living my life. You get what I'm saying? And then, like, when you see, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like I said, I want to play the piano and stuff like that. I want to learn. And now I have the motivation to do it. It's like nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me now. And like you kind of apply that to every aspect of your life, and you're like, yo, like now I'm actually doing what's making sense. Because other motherfuckers can laugh at you if they want. Hey, that's nice. You can laugh at me if you want, but hey, at the end of the day, nigga, like I gotta throw back to my boy Plies. I'm happy. You're mad. You're big mad.
Big mad. You big mad. You know.
Happy.
And that's, you know, it's crazy, right? Because you know, doing stuff that you want to do, right? When I was living in San Diego, I said, you know what? I always talk about me wanting to learn how to do salsa, right? Because I got tired of watching the YouTube videos, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to do salsa. I took a salsa class, and I was going to a salsa class avidly. It's only me. I was only going to a salsa class. I tell everybody like, yo, what kind of bitch shit you on? But, like, I used to go to the salsa class, like, damn near, like, what? I used to go to salsa class 2 times a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All in silence, no one knew about it, but it was just something that I was so excited about learning how to do. And I ended up falling in love with salsa. And I just started, I'm real good at salsa. I used to, like, whisper in bitches' ears, you know, well, you can't call them bitches no more. All right. I used to whisper in bitches' ears, and I used to say, I'm the salsa king. But, like, so fucking what made me excited about doing that shit is just doing it because I said I wanted to do it, and I did it. And I became really good at salsa. Real good at salsa. Like, and then I used to stay at the I can't remember what the fuck that club is called. It's a Latino club. It's like the biggest one down in town in Gaslamp. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I know what you're talking about. Believe it or not, I have a Jamaican homeboy out here. He's he just got out. And like, believe it or not, he's Jamaican. But when I say this nigga is a salsa king.
Yes.
And he invited me a few times and I went and shit. Yeah, that salsa, bro, that shit. Come on, that makes sense.
That's intense, nigga. You be sweating and shit like, damn, hold up.
Nigga, that'll make these bitches wet, dog.
Nigga, for real.
Your ass off and shit, dog.
Yeah.
No.
All I need is a rose, and that it's like it's over. I just don't want to be cheesy. I would have bought a rose, that little fuckle shirt. I would have been icy, but I just didn't want to be a little too cheesy about it. I didn't want to really just set up a stereotype. But that's how much I was like into doing salsa shit. I love that shit. But that's the beauty of it though. Just doing stuff that you want to do. Like Like, if it wasn't for battles, right, I never knew I liked fighting.
Really?
If it wasn't for battles, I never knew I liked fighting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Battles got me into doing that shit. Like, battles got me into... Of course he got me into doing it because he was beating my ass. I said, you know what? Let me just evaluate. Because I thought I could fight. Honestly, I thought I could fight. And then I realized, like, fucking with battles, I couldn't fight. But I didn't know battles really was that nice. Like, because, like, fucking... And battles, when he battles hear this shit, he gonna just laugh. Because fucking, I didn't know... I didn't know he was just that nice. Like, once I said, you know what? We had went to this sparring gym, the Hoffness. And I'm like... I said, all right, you can't beat me wrestling. I've been wrestling all my life. I'm good at wrestling. I never went to school for it, but I know I can wrestle. Battles just throwing me the fuck around. Bow, 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 man. Fucking me up, right? And I said, okay, you may have beat me in wrestling, but how about boxing? He said, all right. And I didn't get up there with him yet, but I just seen his footwork, and I said, you know what? We're gonna have to come back on this one. His footwork was just too crisp for me to just step in and just box with him. I ain't really seen footwork like that before. Like, I seen boxers have that footwork. I'm like, you know what? You wanna just go get something to eat real quick? He goes, yeah, let's go get something to eat. I ain't gonna get out there with that nigga. But
I hear you, bro.
I started getting into that shit, and I started like really thoroughly enjoying, doing shit like that. So when I started figuring out that shit, that's when I started really improving on myself.
No, I feel it. But even experiences like that, and even everything else you've been saying about what I went through, man, it was a humbling experience, man. It was such a humble experience, and honestly, bro, it opened my mind up to not judge anybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you hear other people's situations, and even like you were mentioning before, even like one of the first questions you asked me about, some of these kids in the Navy is just bitch made and stuff like that. And like I just said, bro, I do agree with you on that one. Some of them is a little bitch made, but you don't know what some of them might have dealt with before. Yeah. So it's like, it's not even so much as, it's just, they're in the Navy now and they just so bitch made. But you never know. This motherfucker might have had the roughest childhood on the planet. Yeah. And I remember, matter of fact, salute to Stephen Norman, man. Definitely one of my.
I know that Stephen Norman was like your brother. Stephen Norman man. And what's that? I remember Norman, but I remember the other one, the fucking one with the big lips. He was FC, the FC one. Oh, they both FCs, right?
Oh, you're thinking of Morinville.
Morinville. Yeah, I don't know if he was cool with him, but I know he was cool heavy with Norman. I still remember what Norman said that fucked me up to this day. He kept calling me. He said, "You're cute," and I'm like, no, what the fuck? Because I was like, fuck, this is my first time on the ship, and the first thing he says is, "You cute." I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here, but I'm not really cut. I don't go that way. But he kept every single time we walked past me, he kept saying, "Hey, yo, man, you cute." And I'm like, yo, stop. Like, I was uncomfortable. And then he had rank. I'm like, I don't know if I should say something to him. But Norman. I knew how you cut for Norman. I knew how you cut for him.
Definitely, bro. Salute to Norman. That nigga was wild. But you know what, bro? I would never forget. Believe it or not, man, to this day, there has to be, like, regardless of how you might have perceived him and how he might act, truth be told, though, that has to be one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. No,
and I'm not surprised by that. Like, I'm not surprised. You can tell, you can see all that intelligence in it. You can see all the intelligence in it. I see him, it's crazy. I watched Norman tear up Chief Ramos. Tear him up. And Chief Ramos was, boy, he was hot, nigga. He was hot. Like, he was.
Because he couldn't say shit.
He couldn't say shit because because you know what you think. You think what you see, but you ain't really know it's really it's deeper than that.
Exactly.
It's deeper than that.
And you know what though, dog? And I remember one gem Norma had dropped on me one time. He was like, "Hey, man, it was so simple, but so effective. Same situation, different people." You know what I'm saying? And even with that being said too, it's like me and you can go through the same situation, and you can be like, "Well, nigga, how that happened to you?" Blah blah blah. But bro, we two different people. What might stress you the fuck out? Exactly. Like, what might stress you out is life-changing. Well, I'm sorry, what might stress you out ain't nothing to me. But what's life-changing to me might be something that you can just, all right, cool, whatever. I just take that L and keep moving.
Yeah.
Two different people, though, dog. And even, matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why I want to actually go to school for my doctorate in psychology. Because even going to therapy, and even though I bounced back, even my therapist actually recommended. He was like, "Yo, I really think that you should go to school to be a therapist." And I think like even he recommended to me. And you know me, like I support everything black. I want to make sure I get that out there to the world. I support everything black.
Me too.
I have a black therapist. Exactly, brother. Like I have a black therapist.
I'm asking you. I'm going to a therapist if I go. I don't want to sound like that guy, right? But I feel more comfortable with, you know.
What? Exactly.
I need a little melanin in it. Like I don't. I'm just talking from the same experience. You know, you don't think you have enough melanin to be qualified to say what you're saying.
Exactly. I need somebody who's going to understand where I'm coming from. Don't just tell me, oh, you be alright. No, I don't want to hear that. Like, nigga, like, I'm going through shit. Like, I'm not sitting in the office for no fucking reason right now. Yeah,
I need you to understand why I think this guy is racist. I don't need you to understand try to find a reason like, well, maybe it's just you. No, it's not me. I'm not a motherfucker that you just put that shit on.
Man, boy, preach.
It's not. It's like,
but you know, but that's one of the reasons why I say too, like, I really do want to, you know, pursue a degree in psychology and stuff like that. I feel like I've bounced back so
go for it. I think
that I can help people now.
But you was always good at helping people. I know. I'm gonna let you know that right now. You was always good at helping people. You was always good at helping people, and you got it in you. You honestly do. You got it in you. Go for it. Go for it. You know how I fuck with dreams. Go for it, man. If you feel like you can do it, don't let shit stop you. And I bet you once you finally start going for it, it's gonna be the best shit ever. Cause like ain't nothing more beautiful than saying what you're gonna do and then actually doing it.
Exactly.
And you know what's so funny? I find this shit so shocking, right? When motherfuckers go like, "Well, you're actually doing what you said you're gonna do." Well, what did you think it was gonna happen?
Exactly.
You thought it was gonna stop? Yeah, you thought I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do. I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. And man, go for that shit, man. I'm honestly like real shit. Like if you take anything from this fucking combo, go for it. Go for it. I need you to go for it. Cause you have one of those hearts where you feel it. You're good at helping. You got some Jamaican grandmother healing hands. you can heal. You can heal.
I appreciate that.
And you know it's crazy. All right, so I think I'm gonna end the podcast. Listen, we've been talking for like what, two hours, and honestly, I can go longer. I really can. I'm gonna call you offline. I just but I'm gonna end this podcast here. But the kind of person you is, like, this is when I say, like, right? People ask me, do I want to meet somebody famous, shit like that. I know famous people, right? And they're not famous. They're not big, but they're just great people. I want y'all motherfuckers to meet Chris. He's a great man. He's a stand-up individual. I respect this man to this day. No matter what, Chris could be like Bill Cosby, and I sit there and be like, nah, I don't think he really did it. I just don't believe he did all of them. Like I think there was something to it. That's how much I look at Chris. All right. And it was a great time having a conversation with you. You're a great man. And I'm going to end the podcast here. And thank you for being on my podcast. I know you probably fucking crazy about it, but I know thank you for being on my podcast.
Hey, man, no problem at all, man. Even like I said before, one of my biggest things is I love helping people. And I said I support everything black. And, bro, even just to catch up with one of my brothers, man, like I said, I still see you as, one of my little bros, man. Like, I don't think you realize, I'll stomp a nigga out for you, bro. I will. If I have to, I will, bro. It's not even a question. Bro, it's just so good to hear your voice, bro. I didn't even know you was dealing with some of the stuff that you was dealing with. But, bro, I'm glad to hear you okay. You out there. You got your dreams going. You're still pushing. You're still, the same person I met back in Japan, but better. And that's what I like to see. I like to see that growth. more than anything. I love to see that growth, bro. You have grown, my brother. And I love that. Keep doing what you're doing, my brother. And when you are famous, I'm going to be right in the front row to make sure I support you, bro. I don't give a shit if you bombing or not. But just to support my brother, I'm like, yo, I knew this nigga from back in the day. I got your back. No matter whatever. Let me know whatever I can do. If you need to post something up on social media, man, let me know, bro. I'm here to support you, man.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. And God bless. And I'll talk to you. I might call you after this, though, but so we can really finish it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, big dog.
No problem at all, man. Yo, be blessed, man.
Thank you.
All right.